Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to part 3 of the Tamiya XV-02 Pro Rally kit build. The last video had us working with the suspension arms, differentials, and center drivetrain. In this video, we move on to the motor install, shock towers, CVDs, and the rest of the suspension system. Alrighty, let's go! Tamiya includes a gasket that goes between the motor and the motor plate. We don't typically use it as we like the motor plate to actually help as a heat sink for the motor. Don't tighten up these motor screws just yet. We'll get back to them in a second. Okay, setting the initial gear mesh. Start by placing the motor assembly onto the chassis and, while holding it firmly in place, set the mesh and tighten the top screw only. You can then remove the assembly and tighten the lower screw. Verify your mesh again once the motor plate is installed in the car. Looks pretty good so far. Let's get working on bag C. We will be building the front and rear camber links during this video. To make that process easier, check out our CompetitionX ball cup building tool. Link is in the description. When installing both the camber link and shock mounting ball studs, pay close attention to the orientation of the shock towers. When installing the completed camber links, make sure the turnbuckles are installed with the arrowed portion to the left side of the car. Like the front, pay close attention to the orientation of the ball studs when installing into the rear shock tower. Again, like the front, make sure the arrowed part of the rear turnbuckles points to the left side of the car. These 10mm screws act as mechanical steering stops to limit steering throw. While we do suggest installing them, this is one of the first areas you'll tune if you need more steering. These axle rings install much the same way as the ones you assembled in the Part 2 build video. Take your time and you'll be just fine. Pay close attention to the orientation of the caster blocks during this part of the assembly. They only install in one direction. Here's a close-up look of the assembled front suspension and steering. Give it a once over to make sure everything swings freely with no binding before we move on to the rear of the car. Ah, more axle rings. However, by now you should be a pro at installing these. Excellent job on part 3 of the Tamiya XV-02 Pro kit build. We've only got one more video installment left: shocks, electronics, wheels and tires, and some final assembly steps. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos in this series. See you in the next video.